2 months later on a Wednesday night, when I should have been in my home group, I stayed home and tried to get high. I say I tried to get high because I didn't get high, but I got stupid. My wife walked into the kitchen, and I was trying to figure out how does a lid come off a soda bottle, because I couldn't quite figure out how that worked. And probably the only good thing that happened that night was she said to me, "You're using again, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And we stayed up all night long. I cried and like I didn't know what to do. And she asked me, said, "Do you think you need to go to rehab again?" I wasn't really sure what to say at that point, but I said, "No, I don't think so. I need to do something different." And I waited a week to go back to my home. I wanted to go back to my home group. I didn't want to go to another meeting. And at that time, we were meeting at the hospital I work at right now, and it's a huge place. And like I drove around that block probably 20 minutes just looking for an excuse not to walk back through that door. Because like I had like all the wrong things in my head, what was going to happen. People were going to laugh at me. People were going to like judge me. People were going to hate me for what I'd done. And I remember when I walked in that very first day there, the meeting had already started. They were going through the readings, and like people kind of gave me the little high sign, and like I think they just saw the look on my face, and like I saw their faces drop because they knew something was really wrong. And when the readings were done and stuff, and the meeting opened up, I shared that I had used the week before. And I'll never forget it. There was one guy that came up to me. And, I've heard people agree or disagree with this, but he told me, he said, "At this point, all you've lost is your clean day. What you do now is going to determine the rest of your life." And like that sounded real wise and stuff that day, and I didn't really understand what he was talking about. But is that a bat? Yeah, cool. Didn't really understand what he was talking about, but I knew like I had to get something out of that. Like I don't know if it was a spiritual awakening or God telling me like you need to listen to this guy, something. Because like one of the curses of where I live is I have to drive at least 20 miles to a meeting. So I got like a half-hour ride. And that's also one of the blessings, because when I leave a meeting, I have some time like to just kind of reflect on what I heard. And that night when I left, I started thinking about what he was talking about. And it sort of hit home to me that like it wasn't that I lost all the knowledge I had. It's that I hadn't applied any of it. What good is like, if I know how to build a rocket, but I never do it, what's good's the knowledge? And that's what my recovery had become. Like I knew all the stuff, but I didn't do anything with it. It didn't help me, and it sure as hell didn't help you. So I started to take a real honest look at like what was wrong with my program. What was my program instead of the NA program? And a lot of it boiled down to that we part of it.